Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm here with head coach Gareth Taylor to preview the FA Cup match against Leicester this weekend. We'll start with questions in the room if you want to put your hand up. Sally?
Hi Gareth. I know yesterday you spoke on Sky that you had managed to have a detailed conversation with Bunny Shaw after yesterday not being able to play. Have you had that conversation with her now?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we covered it last night on the briefing before the game, and obviously afterwards as well. I took questions on it. I think the situation is the situation. The decision was the decision. But Bunny's back with us today. She's okay and trained with the team, which is good. So yeah, that's it. I don't think we want to give any more kind of airtime to this really bad issue that she's had to suffer with. So yeah, I kind of made my feelings known last night.
I appreciate you don't want to give any more airtime to it, but just as a general point of view, therefore, this, I'll put something similar to Pep Guardiola as well. You know, for players to have to deal with this isn't right, is it? It shouldn't be part of a player's job description.
Of course not. Of course not. What do you think my answer is going to be? I think it's, it should. There's no place for it at all in. I was going to say in the game, but in any walk of life, it is really not. And I think anyone saying the opposite of that, there's just no place for it at all in anything that we do.
Focusing on the pitch, you went long a couple of weeks ago against Manchester United, and that worked really well. And you've also talked about how when you played shorter, that's what you've asked the players to do, and sometimes it's worked and sometimes it hasn't. Do you want to see your players take a little bit more?
Sorry, I haven't never asked them to play short on a particular time. We always play whatever the opposition
the way you want to play. Against Arsenal, it didn't quite start very well. Sometimes are you wanting your players?
Night.
Sorry?
Last night.
Sorry, it's the WSL on Sunday, sorry.
Okay.
Do you want to see your players take a bit more responsibility themselves on when to go long, for example, or when to keep playing at the back?
No, look, I mean, if you look on last night, everything about the performance was top in the endeavour and the commitment from the team, which we expect from every game. And I think the girls have set a high standard in that. I think what we have seen with this team is powers of recovery over a short period of time. And every day is a learning day, for sure. I think we always play to the conditions that the opposition put us under, whether they defend deep or press high. And accountability with the players is really high, and the game will always be about decision making. I think as individuals that are obviously going to be able to help the team when we make good decisions, and obviously we'll suffer at times when we make poorer decisions. So yeah, I think last night was really, really good performance. Probably didn't expect the performance to be as good. Thought we were really dominant. Thought the feeling from myself was that we were the better team in a sense of we controlled large parts of the play. I think we had 19 attempts to their 6, which you always know that the scorelines in those games are going to be kind of fairly tight. There was on Sunday, and it was obviously in last night, and the margins were going to be really, really tight. I felt it was really deserved. It's a tough moment for Arsenal to concede that late. But I think it was fully deserved from ourselves. I thought we really stepped up a level when they equalised. Missing the penalty didn't affect us at all. The mentality was really strong.
And finally, Leicester have struggled in WSL this season. The games are coming thick and fast. Even I'm getting my fixtures muddled up. How are the squad coping at the moment with the amount of games they're facing, and what are you expecting on Sunday?
Well, we're coping, of course. It's been a feature all season for us, of course, qualifying for the Champions League and running quite a low squad, carrying some significant injuries as well. I think it's been all hands to the pump a little bit, and having to really call upon young players who probably could do with a little bit longer with the team before they're thrust into the limelight. And we've not had that luxury, but they've done well. I think, they've really stood up to the difficulties that we faced well. And to be in a cup final for us is amazing. We obviously now have an opportunity at the weekend to progress to a quarter-final. We know that's going to be tough because Leicester are a decent proposition, the only team this season to take points off of Chelsea. So I think that's testament to them in terms of what they're doing. But of course, being back here at the Joy Stadium is great for us under our fans, and obviously we really appreciate the fan support we had there last night on a cold Thursday evening, in London.
Thank you.
Gareth, just on Bunny, do you have to speak to her? Do you have to make sure she's in the right frame of mind to play?
Yeah, I've spoken to her. I think, I respectfully not want to share that. I think it's a caring side, obviously, with the club and all of the support we want to give her. But we'd support Bunny in the right way, whatever that level of support looks like. Of course, it will look different for each person in terms of each player and in terms of what they need. But yeah, that's it for us.
I appreciate what you said at the start about not giving airtime to the perpetrators of this kind of thing, but also it's important for people not to bury their heads in the sand about it either. And I realise it's a societal thing, and she is an important member of your squad. But publicly, like how do you deal with things like this? We've seen the infiltration of racism and the reaction of racism to male players quite a lot, and it doesn't go away. But I think all you can do is kind of shine a light on it, really.
I think everything you guys are saying, you're answering almost your own questions. We really don't see any place for this to be in any walk of life. Like I said, not just the game of football. It's not acceptable and never will be and never should be. Our club statement that we released is one that we always refer to, which has basically said that. So I think, excuse me. I think our club statement has really reinforced that we don't stand for it at all. We never will do. And yeah, what more you need me to say on that, I'm not too sure.
It's not a question of needing you to say something, but you're the manager of the football club, and it's more human for you to talk about it than just the club issuing a statement.
Yeah, but I'm not the one who's in that situation. I can certainly try and put myself in that situation of being racially abused. That's a horrendous situation for any person to have to put up with, and we don't stand for it at all. I don't see any place where that is acceptable in any walk of life. Unfortunately, at the moment, it seems that there is a platform for certain people to be able to come with those comments. How we deal with that, I really don't know. All I care about is obviously the players that I work with. We really care about Bunny Shaw in particular, and we really care about every single player that we have at this club.
Thank you.
We'll go to Zoom now, Tom.
Hi, Gareth. Please can I just get your reaction to the draw of the Champions League, and specifically the fact you're now going to have at least 4 games in a row against Chelsea, and what do you make of that prospect?
Yeah, I think we obviously knew what the outcome was going to be, one of 3 teams. And 2 of them obviously were going to be English teams or the team in France, in Lyon. So yeah, it's a strange kind of... It would be strange to play them 4 times in a row, but I think it's an exciting challenge. They're obviously unbeaten this season and made a really strong start. Some of their games have been quite tight, but they've come out on the right side of it with their results. So it'll be a tough challenge for us for sure.
And just one on tomorrow, I was just curious, Sunday, forgive me. I was just curious how much inclination you have to give some of the younger players a start or some substantial minutes, perhaps Lily Murphy or Gracie. Like, is it that kind of game for you where there's a chance for youngsters to get a few more minutes?
We'll have to see. It's a game we need to win. Every game between now and the end of the season is a game we have to win. We're in the kind of business end of the season now, where these cup competitions are coming in thick and fast, and we need to make sure that we are moving into the next round. We know how difficult that is, but in all of the competitions we are in, we have to do that. So I think we'll have to see on that note.
Okay, thanks, Gareth. Cheers.
Thanks, Tom. Dan, next.
Hi, Gareth. Hope you're well. Congratulations for last night.
Thank you.
I I just wonder how you feel the challenge of Leicester has kind of changed for this game compared to the side that you played and beat 4-0, back in December.
How they've changed. Well, I think obviously when you spend more time as a team, new coach obviously, and Amandine who came in the summer, I think you get more time to kind of put your stamp on the team. And we're really kind of aware of how they performed, the results they've had recently. And obviously when you continually work together, you would like to think that things start to improve and you start to see kind of, like I say, the stamp that Amandine has put down in the team. So as to whether there's any kind of correlation with that game, I think I remember our performance being very, very good. But of course, it looks slightly different to what we had back then. I think obviously Alex played in that game. Alana Kennedy came on into the game in that game as well. So, yeah, I think for us, it's a FA Cup opportunity to get into the quarterfinals. Both teams will really want to do that. Leicester did quite well in this competition last season. So I think, we need to be really on the front foot from minute one, similar to the way we were last night. Really grab a hold of the game. And really try to stamp our authority early on.
I just want to ask about Emu Ayama. I hope I've said that right. How is she kind of integrated into life in England and into the City squad?
Yeah, she's doing really well. I think obviously the Japanese additions that we already have allowed her to probably settle a lot quicker than probably what it would look like. I think it's always really difficult when players come from another environment. Certainly, but I think she's done really well. She's training more and more. Of course, we need to probably get her fitness levels up a little bit higher, and I think she'll do that by training more and more. So, I think it gives us another alternative for when we feel we might need it. But I think the adaptation period that she's had has been really helpful for her.
Thanks, Gareth. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Any more questions from Zoom? Nope. Oh, Ellie?
Just one quick one from me, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Just on Paola, if that's okay. Obviously, she's stepped up massively this season. She's already beaten the goal tally from last season in the league. I just wondered how pleased you are for her.
On who? Sorry, I didn't hear. Mary Fowler. Sorry. Okay, Mary. I think in really hot form. Is such a talented player. Is one that kind of needs rhythm and confidence, and I think we're really seeing high levels from her now and in any of the positions that she plays in. And I think last night was a really good game for her because everything that we did well with and without the ball really involved her. So we're really pleased with her, and the contributions that she's having to the team at the moment.
That's great. Thank you.
Thanks, Ellie.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.